Okay, so I'm just wanting to show everybody how I would create slides for a message. So if you have PowerPoint, that's what I'm going to show you how I use with PowerPoint. So down here, I'm just going to turn on PowerPoint. And if you're using PowerPoint, you want a nice dark theme. This is a good one, this vapor trail one I've used before. So just double click on that and it opens it up. And then what you also want to do is after you open up PowerPoint, you want to open up a Bible program to copy and paste scripture. So I'll go down here to, I use Chrome, Google Chrome. So I click on that, I've already got it open, which is Bible Gateway. And suppose I want to take a scripture like John 3:16, you just type it in here in the search box. Then you can come down here and take your cursor, highlight it, and then either right click and come down here and hit copy. That's a right click on my mouse, copy. Or if I'm on a Mac, I can just do Command C, and then I can go back to my presentation, what I'm working on. See, I'll push this up, grab a hold of it there, click on this white part here, and I'll expand this. So now you can see up here is our presentation, like our canvas that we're going to work on. And back here is the Bible program. So they're kind of overlapping each other like here. So it's easy to go back and forth, or if you're into using tab, you can do Command Tab on a Mac like that. And you can go back and forth. But you can also just toggle by hitting your mouse back and forth once you lay them out that way. So now this, where it says click to add title, we can add a title like Jesus Saves, exclamation point. If you want to center it, you just come up here and center it, and you can hit B for bold over here. Should bold it. Yeah, I highlighted it, it bolded it. And then you can take and, like, as you move your cursor over this, you can see this little four-way arrow thing here. That means you can grab a hold of it and pull it up. And then you can do the same down here if you wanted to add your name, Nick Boork. And then if I want to center it, click center. If you want to make your font bigger, you just highlight it like that, put your cursor and drag it across. Go up here, click maybe 40 or whatever. I like to bold a lot of stuff. Now see that slide right there? I mean, if you're showing this to people in a teaching setting, it's really nice. It's easy to read because you've got a dark background. See the black there? There is some color, which is nice. But with the white letters on the black, I mean, it just pops out, very easy to read. So that's like our title. And this is another box. These are two text boxes. And this one up here is the heading. And this one for this template is just another thing you can put text into. So I'll show you how this works. So now, if we go over here to the left, you can take this, right click on your mouse, come down to where it says duplicate slide. And you just, there it is. It duplicated it, so you can click on it, and that's the one. See the little red box? That's the one you're working on. And you can click on any of these. So we're going to get rid of this title up here. So you just, what you do, you bring your mouse over it, just click on it so you see all the points around there, and then just backspace. Gone. So now, see, we don't want that. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to use this text box here to type in our scripture, John 3:16. Right? There. I guess we're going to take this and we're going to put this over to the left, and we're going to bring this text box up here like that. You don't want it up there. It gets lost in that color. You want it kind of in that black there on where it's easy to read. So we don't want another one. So you put your cursor, your mouse, by the 6, and then you just right click copy, or paste, right click, paste, and there's the scripture right there, but it doesn't look really good the way it is. So what you want to do is you want to highlight this text, and you want to make them all like the same, whatever it was. So I'm going to use Arial, like, say 48. Okay, and I still want it all bold. But you see how it's kind of bunched together there? How these letters and these sentences here are so tight? We don't want that. So we come up here under this thing right here, click on this button and click 1.5. There. Now, what you can do is when you click on this area, you'll see the text box around it. Grab this little square right here, pull it down, and it automatically resizes the text. See, as you pull it down. And what I do is I always separate the scripture, John 3:16 or whatever you're using, from the scripture itself. And there's a really important reason I do that. Because whoever is doing the slides, if they're doing them upstairs, you know, and they've got the exact same slides that you've got, when you say, well, John 3:16 says, it's easy for them to see that. It's right there, and they can just click on the slide and follow along. Pretty nice. But yeah, there's a lot you can do. So that's okay. I'd still make these fonts a little bit bigger. And one of the ways you can do this, though, if you're on a Mac, you can always, you know, highlight the whole thing with a cursor like that. Or you just put your cursor in anywhere, and on my Mac it's Command A for all. Bam. It highlighted the whole thing, Command A. And so I'm going to say I want these Arial. I want them all the same, and we're going to say, let's try 66. Little big. Let's try 44. Still pretty big. See, I don't know why it's just doing this. But we really don't want it that spaced either. So highlight all this, go up here. Let's try, usually 1 is too little. Don't really like it. Too tight for me. I mean, it's okay. So you can do that, and that's that. Now, if you want to do another scripture, see how easy that is to read. It's really nice. So easy for everybody. You can center it. If you drag it around here, it'll show you where this. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna say it shows. Yeah, it kind of does. A little red line there, right in the middle. It shows you where the center's at. You can center it. Done. Now, all you do to do another slide, go over here, click on this, the one you're working on, right click, again, go down to where it says duplicate slide. There, it just duplicated it. So now you can add in another verse in there, or you can say, just put text in, so you highlight it all and get rid of it, and then you can just start typing in here. Maybe it's a point that you want to make in your message, like, you know, Jesus did his part. Now we must decide to be saved and believe and receive him. Into our hearts. Exclamation point. There you go. See, so now those are the mechanics of putting together a presentation in PowerPoint. So you just have to play around with it, you see. And if you want to save this to export it to use at the church, like through the projector, you know, at this point we need it to be saved in images so we can import it into the computer upstairs and show it through there. But you could have this, all these same slides on your computer, like a laptop, or you could even use mine if you need to. So you take these slides, right? And all you have to do to save these as images that we can use through the projector at church is go up here to File, up here on top where it says File. And you forget that. The way you do it is File, Export. That's what you want. You go to File, Export. Click on Export. Kind of same thing. You give it a title to identify it, your message. And then down here under File Format, click here and you select where it says JPEG for JPEG. And you click that. And then make sure that you're using this size, this 920 by 1080. That's the wide size. And you want to make sure you click this where it says Save Every Slide. Make sure that's fully blued and selected. Then you just go over here to this button over here that says Export. So you got JPEG, Save Every Slide, 1920 by 1080, and Export. So it's going to save it as JPEG. So you say Export. It says each slide in your presentation has been saved as a separate file in the folder. See, Jesus Saves. That's what you want. So you say, okay. Now let's minimize this and go take a look at it. So we'll minimize this. We'll minimize that. Now we're going to find the folder it created. There it is, Jesus Saves. So we double click on it. There they are. Our 3 slides are in JPEG. And if you want to see them as bigger, you can use these dots up here. Grab this, kind of stretch it out. There's the 3 slides of the beginning of a message that we started to create. Your title, a scripture, and a comment or an action point on what you need to do. And you can continue, you can create 50 slides, the scriptures, then explanation or a point. But always make sure that as you see this right here, you're only using like 4 or 5 lines of text. You want to keep it like white letters, big, bold, like that, on a dark background. It's easier for people to see what you're preaching there. So that's it. That's how you create images using PowerPoint, that we can use those images at church and import them into ProPresenter and use the projector. So if you do that, you'll have the identical message that you create that you can run on a laptop or your own laptop or iPad or whatever you have the message saved in. Then whoever's upstairs running the slides will have the identical message, and they'll be able to follow along slide by slide, and it should just work just great. So that's how you do it. If you got any questions, just give me a call and contact me, and I'll walk you through it as well. No problem. So bless you preaching and preparing, and I'll help you any way I can.